What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Hope everybody had a decent Monday, probably without a lot of sleep and a lot of frustration and aggravation following the loss to the Chiefs. And what a difference a week makes for Zach Wilson, right? Because you figure a week ago, everybody's talking about, myself included, is this going to be Zach's last game as the Jet? He should be benched, play Trevor Siemian, make a move for Tannehill, play Tim Boyle, we don't care. To this week, you're like, you have a glimmer of hope. You saw things you've been wanting to see for over 2 years now. And it's exciting. It's what this team desperately needed. I thought going into the game, this team didn't really know if they could believe in Zach, if they could actually win with him. I mean, last year they quit on him. They were wearing the Mike White shirts, everything else. This year, I'm not really sure they were completely buying in. When they are down 17-0, I'm not sure how many guys on the sideline really believe that Zach can bring them back. And the one thing he's got to do, they can say all the right things off the field, but on the field, he's got to earn that respect and earn that credibility. And he took a big step last night doing that. He made some money throws. He had that scramble for the 2-point conversion, took some big hits. He faced a tremendous amount of adversity. And he came away and he took accountability and ownership for the fumble. So it's just progress, man. And that's all we've been asking for. Nobody's saying going from be the worst quarterback in football to the best quarterback in football in 2 weeks. Just run the offense, be a good game manager. And at this point with this offense, you got to make 4 or 5 big throws, and this team can win football games, assuming you're going to play good defense and run the ball. Now, today there was a lot of crazy reactions, but the one thing you got to like is that Rodney Harrison took some really cheap shots at Zach Wilson last night after the game. Some Bush League stuff, man. It was embarrassing on his part. And for a long time, the Jets were always treated like that. The Jets were like the lovable losers. When in doubt, make Jets jokes, crack on them, rip on them, and that's what the Jets were, right? But so Rodney Harrison tried that same approach with Zach Wilson, and it completely backfired because he earned everybody's respect last night to the point where Micah Parsons came out and said something, Richard Sherman said something, like a lot of people, Rich Gannon, a lot of the football world were like, dude, the kid played well, give him credit. It's one thing to kick somebody when they're down, but when they actually show progress, when they actually do the things we've been asking them to do for the last couple of years, it's just like acknowledge it and own it. Like even Joe Namath dumped all over him. Just say, you know what, we were wrong. I'm willing to admit I was wrong. I honestly thought Zach was done going into last night. I thought it was it. You just expect the worst, and he surprised us. Now the key is build on it. It's consistency. You can't have 4 good series and then go out to Denver and lay a dud. Now, you don't have to be a superstar every week, but just run, like I said, run the offense, play solid football, and spread the ball around, which you get everybody involved. Everybody will be happy, and everybody will produce. And that's all that really matters, right? So it's interesting to see how all the reactions today, a lot of it was focused on Zach and his performance and the penalties, against, the Sauce Gardner, the lack of a holding call against Jermaine Johnson, the intentional grounding they didn't call, stuff like that. But there's a lot of other storylines that were missed I think we should go into over the days to come, like the slow start from the defense, being down 17-0 right off the bat, the drop passes, the handling of Breece Hall, all those different things, and even Saleh, how aggressive he is, and, on 4th and 3, 4th and 1. There's a lot of other things that are kind of getting lost in the chaos here, and it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, this team needs to win games. So they've lost 2 close games in a row to a terrible Patriot team, to a very good Chief team. But now it's a matter of stacking up wins because you don't want the season to get spiral out of control. The Bronco game is obviously a must-win, but it's going to be interesting to see how this team bounces back. I think the fact that Sean Payton talked all that trash about Hackett will get this team, I think they want to bounce back, but there could be some kind of emotional letdown coming up a Sunday night game. But with all the Sean Payton stuff, I think this team is going to rally quickly because they want to back up their coach. And I'm sure Aaron Rodgers will be chomping the bit too, like, hey, man, pushing this team with his leadership and everything else. But interesting times, man. I'm actually happy for Zach, man, because he probably had the longest week of his life in this media market with all of us just pounding on him, like the fans, even his teammates were probably like, dude, this isn't the guy, the media, everything else. And he faced it all and came out shining where it's like, all right, I took a big step now. And now he can probably exhale a little bit. Like, all right, I've shown what I can do. Now I can maybe just take off some of the pressure off him and play consistent football. So it's interesting times, man. And the one thing is, there's this notion that we're all rooting against Zach or we just hate on Zach. The fact of the matter is he hasn't been a good football player since he's been a Jet. So that's just a fact. But we all want to see him succeed. Like, the goal is, if you have a quarterback that's 23 years old with his arm talent and ability, if he takes off and plays great football, that's what you want. You want a quarterback for the next 10, 12, 15 years. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is great to have here, but he's another year and he's out of here. So, like, I don't know, like, there's nobody rooting against Zach. We can only view him as he showed us. And now you see a little bit here, like, all right, kid, you got something. You have a glimmer of hope here. Like, you had that little window here that's opening up. Like, all right, maybe this can blossom into something. But it's only if he builds on it. That's the most important thing. And it's like, the sum of the takes, like, I heard sports radio today. I had to turn it off. Where it's like, one guy's like, oh, Zach's a superstar. And Zach, like, dude, just let him play, man. He's not as bad as we think he is. And we're not as good as you think he is. Well, he's not as good as we think he is right now either. It's like, there's going to be a happy balance between all this. I know it's like hot takes on social media is what gets everybody going now. But it's like, he played a good game. And now it's like, they don't need all the outlandish stuff. Just let him be himself. Let him get in the offense. And let Hackett and Rodgers keep working with him. So hopefully he can become a quarterback that we all want him to be.